Welcome back to another Chapter 2 video. This one is dealing with relative frequency rather than frequency, and it's continuous data rather than discrete data. Again, every table is going to require a title. You're going to have classes, just like on the other one. You're going to be using boundaries as well this time, because it is continuous data rather than discrete. You could have a tally column, but we're going to be looking at a way to get around that column, and then a relative frequency rather than frequency. But I'll point out as we're doing that the subtle difference between those two things, so that if you can do one, you can do the other one. So sample problem. Again, I mentioned we're doing relative frequency. When we're doing this, one of the things that I always suggest to do first is to order the data. A helpful tool for that is a stem and leaf plot. And you can check that out in your textbook as far as how to do that and to help you use that to organize your data, to order it. For this particular data set, it's monitoring the speed of cars at a particular area. So the topic on this is speed in miles per hour. Again, ordering the data being a good first thing to do. Then the second thing you'll have to do is find the class width. And with that, you take your range, divided by the number of classes, and then round. And it's always round up. So for this particular data set, I have gone ahead and ordered the data. So if you need to pause the video and write that data in order, do so now. So finding that class width. Our range, 54 minus 21, which is 33. It was said that we wanted 5 classes. And sometimes they might ask for 6, sometimes 7. Just depends. So to find that class width, we take our 33 divided by 5, which is 6 point, and I don't care 6 point what. I round that up to a 7. So it doesn't matter if it's 6.0, you still round it up to a 7. So there's our class width. Now, title we mentioned should be speed in this case. Our classes. Start with the lowest value. That's the beginning of your first class, your first lower limit. To use the class width of 7, you do your 21 plus 7 to get your 28, which is the beginning of the next class. This is 27. The 7 is used there. So make sure you're using that width in the right place. My boundaries are just what would round to that class. So in this case, a 20.5 to a 27.5. Those values would round within there. As I keep going with this next class starts with a 35. This one ends with a 34. This one then is a 42. That means that ended with a 41. This one would be 49. This would end with the 48. This one then ends with the 55. Okay, not 56. 56 would be the beginning of a sixth class. So you've got to make sure that this last value is the correct one. Boundaries, 27.5 to 34.5, 34.5 to 41.5, 41.5 to 48.5, and then 48.5 to 55.5. Those are the class boundaries. Anything within those boundaries would stay in that class. So a 27 would be in that first class. My relative frequencies, your relative frequency is just the frequency over the total. This particular data set has 33 values, so everything is out of 33. One of the nice things about ordering the data is to help you find that particular class. So the first one going 21 to 27, I can divide up that class right there. And I can see all those in that first group there underlined in blue. And I can count that as a 8 out of 33. Likewise, as I continue, it goes, there's the 34 break. Gives me 3 out of 33. The next group, ending at the 41, gives me 11 out of 33. The next group, ending at the 48, giving me 7 out of 33. And then the last group has 4 out of 33. If you add those up, that should sum up to 33 out of 33, a total of 1 for the sum. But that denominator is always the 33. You can use decimals and approximating with decimals, but go to 3 place values. So if you were to do that, that first group, you would use the 8 divided by 33, would use, and I don't recommend this, a 0.242. So if you're going to use decimals, 3 place values. As I'm grading this, one thing I look at, do you have a title? Did you calculate the class width? I look at making sure you've got the first correct number. You use the smallest. I looked at this next value, make sure that you are in fact using your class width correctly. I look and make sure that this last value is in fact stopped at the right spot. I didn't use 56 instead of 45. I check these boundaries. Are they appropriate? Not a 26.5 instead of 27.5. Then lastly, I look over here at your relative frequencies. So that's the the way to set up and create that table, and it's also showing you what I'm going to be requiring as you create these.